Good evening to the 12th grade students, parents, and high school counselors. Thank you so much for joining us for the Knowledge at KPE Admissions 101 workshop session today. As you've seen on the session calendar and our outreach email to your schools, we have today Furman University, and we have Ms. Candice Chan, who would be sharing more information with you, not only about the session topic, but also about her institution, Furman University, as well. As you've seen, please post all questions in the Q&A box and not in the chat box, so that the Q&A box can be one place where Ms. Candice can access all of your wonderful questions, and she'd be very happy to answer them. Having said that, Ms. Candice Chan, we know it's early in the morning. We know you have a very hectic schedule with school starting again. Thank you so much for joining us today. We truly appreciate your kind time, and I'm happy to hand over the stage and the microphone to you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. Hi, everybody. Good evening. Thank you for joining me today. I'm excited to have all of you here today to join me for the presentation. So just a couple housekeeping items before we get started. This is going to be an interactive presentation. So as you guys are actually listening to me talk, there are going to be a few slides that is actually going to be throughout this presentation where I need you guys to actually participate. So if you guys actually wanted to go to menti.com, either on your computer, you can do this on your iPad, you can do this on your phone. And then you need to put in the code, which is listed down here on the bottom. It's 9208850. There are going to be some slides throughout the presentation where you'll see this on the top that says menti.com. Those are the slides that I would like you guys to actually help me out with, because I would need you to give me a response. You can also scan the QR code that is actually here on the right-hand side, and then that will actually bring you to the presentation as well. So I'm going to get started. Once again, my name is Candice Chan. I'm the Dean of International Admissions at Furman University. And today we're going to be talking about a case study where you actually is going to be the admission representative. You're going to be doing my job today. We're going to talk a little bit about holistic review, how we actually review application in the US with a lot of different institutions. And then you are actually going to be the admissions committee today and make some decisions if we're going to be admitting students, waitlisting students, or denying them. So to start, I'm going to talk to you a little bit about holistic review. I think a lot of you are like, what is holistic review? What is really US universities looking for when we're looking at an application? Usually when we do application review, there's a selection committee. You'll be able to see the code again. I saw someone typed in regard to the Menti code. It's going to show up on the slide, so you'll be able to see it again when it's an interactive slide. So going back to holistic review, you actually will see, if you're actually in my office during application season, there are a bunch of us that sit together in a room. Well, not right now because of everything that is happening, but we normally actually will sit together. There's a selection committee, so we'll actually talk about applicants. And it's not just one person that make a decision in regard to an application. There are usually a few of us that work together. So when you are applying to a US institution, a lot of the times your application will go through a group of people as they are reviewing it. And with holistic review, we obviously look at everything that you're submitting to us, right? So everything is really important. We're not just looking at your test scores. We're not just looking at your grades. We wanted to see what you're doing maybe outside of the classroom. We're really looking for the application as a whole. So when we're reviewing your application, I'm not just looking at one particular thing from your application, but obviously, if you're not doing well in your classes, you're failing on your classes, it's probably not going to reflect well on your application. But we do actually a lot of times look more than just your grades. So here talks a little bit more about the component of the application. We obviously, as I mentioned before, we look at your academic records. Some universities look at standardized test scores. Those could be SAT, ACT. Furman actually do not look at test scores. And I think a lot of you actually know now, because of everything that is happening, testing is difficult. So make sure you're asking the university that you're applying to, especially for this year, if they're even asking for test scores. a lot of us have been waiving test scores for our students, but Furman has always been SAT, ACT optional, so we don't really require that. But we do look at your recommendation letters, from your teacher. Obviously, we really want to see what you're doing outside of the classrooms, besides, just studying. We want you to do well in classes, in the classroom setting, but then we also wanted to see if you maybe have leadership skills. If you actually maybe volunteer, or maybe something that you're passionate about, you love music. Maybe you are a singer, maybe you're part of a music club, whatever it might be. And then a lot of times with your essay, it really helps us get to learn more about you. You guys are 12 grades now. By the time you're actually applying, your grades is pretty much set. The test scores are always going to be your test scores, but your essay is really something that you still have control over. Through your essay, we can get to learn a little bit more about you, maybe your background, maybe something that you're really passionate about. Essay a lot of the times really help me to find that right student for Furman. And then interviews is another option as well that is going to be good, for you when you're applying, that help us really get to know you as a person, right? It's so easy now for us to do a virtual interview. Everyone is using all the different platforms, Zoom, Google. So it's easy for you to actually do an interview. And some universities actually require them, so they take all that into consideration when they're doing the holistic review. Demonstrating interest is another big one. A lot of you are like, what is demonstrating interest? Demonstrating interest is actually what you can do to show a university that you're interested in them, right? So a lot of you're thinking, oh, I need to submit the application, and then I follow whatever they tell me to do, and then that's it. Well, a lot of the time, we wanted to see something a little bit extra. I wanted you to maybe reach out to me, send me an email, tell me things that you're interested in doing, when you are at the university that is not really included in your application. I want you to reach out and tell me that you wanted to do an interview, even though, we don't really require an interview. Maybe I wanted you to reach out to a current student actually at Furman and find out more about them. So a lot of universities also consider demonstrating interest as part of the application review process. So make sure you ask those questions when you're applying. So what is it that we do and want from when we're reviewing the application? What is it that we're really looking for? Essentially, really just want to get to know you. We wanted to see things that is outside of the classroom. Sometimes legacy is also another big one. If you have a family member who has attended the institution that you're applying to, it could be Furman or whatever university you wanted to go to, make sure you include that in your application. A lot of times it's part of the questions that we ask already, but if it's not, make sure you let us know. Sometimes maybe that is the person that inspired you, to apply to our university. Tell us those stories. We wanted to know about them. And then, we obviously look for, any talents you may have. If you have done research, definitely, list those as part of your activities, because all those things essentially is really going to help you when we're reviewing your application. So now that you guys have learned a little bit about how we review the application, you are actually going to be part of Disney University. You are actually admissions counselor for Disney University today, and I'm going to actually go over the Disney University requirements and what they're looking for this year. You will also come to find out that university changes their enrollment objective and goals each year. So each year they may be looking for something a little bit different. And then we're going to talk a little bit more about that as I go through this. So for Disney University, you guys may want to actually kind of take a pen and paper out or make notes on your computer, because you may need some of this information and do a screenshot, whatever you want to do, because you need some of this information when you're evaluating the application coming up. So Disney University is about 4,000 students, that's the population. They have 60% males and 40% females, and they are actually top 100 ranked top 100 in the US right now. The minimum TOEFL score is 81. Their average SAT is around 1,200, and their average GPA is around 3.3 currently. Disney University is a little bit expensive because it's Disney. They're just a little bit pricey. It's a private institution, so they're around $55,000 a year, but it's a smaller institution, as you can tell from the faculty and student ratio. So the admission review policy for this year for Disney University is they wanted to enroll a diverse community of students, scholars. So they're definitely looking for diversity. They're interested in learning, they're looking for students that are interested in learning, with and from each other, inside and outside of the classroom. So they're definitely looking for students that have extracurricular activities, right? Because, they're looking for students not just inside the classroom, with the experience and things they want to learn, but also outside. Disney University used holistic review, and you guys know all about holistic review by now. And the goals for enrollment this year, we wanted to increase the class profile. So we wanted to increase the GPA to around a 3.5 average. So as you guys remember from here, we're currently at 3.3. So we want to increase it by 0.2 points. And then we also want to increase the SAT to around 1250. So last year was, the average is around 1200. We wanted to increase it to around 1250. And we also wanted to strive towards more a balance between the male-female ratio. We have a lot of male right now. We wanted to have a little bit more female. So we kind of wanted to go to more a 50-50 ratio. And then we also wanted to increase the number of student athletes that are actually on campus. So now, we're going to reveal our first applicant. So the applicant for this year, the first student is Aliyah Bhatt. She's interested in studying in chemistry. Her grade point average currently is around 3.67. She's studying a national curriculum. It's somewhat challenging. Her TOEFL score is around 890. She has really good SATs around 1500. And she's ranked number 2 in her class. And as you take a look here with her recommendation, her recommendations, from her counselor is kind of average. There are some concerns about classroom conduct. She obviously loves to sing in class, but she has done some lab research, which is really great. And after we read her essay, we ranked a 3 out of 5 for her. And as you guys can see, some of the committee notes here, she is intellectually curious. She definitely has potential. And she has participated in many theater performances. So she definitely has done things outside of the classroom. And as you can see here, some comments from her counselor. She's kind, hardworking. She definitely displays a quiet confidence in her abilities as a student. She strives to achieve her best, but sometimes could be awkward in groups. And remember, she kind of like to sing in class, so maybe that make it a little bit awkward for her. But she can definitely excel in the right classroom setting. And may leave the institution a better place by contributing her love of performance and acting. So she'll definitely be great, in maybe our theater department. And then, she also may benefit, right? Because Disney University is a little bit smaller, so she may benefit in a smaller student population in a smaller setting. So now our next applicant is Saina Noah. And her intended major is international relations. Her GPA is pretty good as well. She has around a 3.4. She's doing the national curriculum, but her high school is very challenging. Her TOEFL is around 100, and her SAT is a 1250. Her class rank is 100 out of 350, so her high school is a little bit bigger, but her rank is still pretty good. And her recommendations is about average. She has potential, but sometimes she lacks focus. So she actually definitely do things outside of the classroom. She volunteers at Student Olympic Association. She's part of the badminton club. She was actually voted best personality. So her classmates definitely really like her. And the committee notes on here is that she will do best in a small classroom, setting. And also you can see her grade trend here. She didn't do so well her second year. She only, drops it down a little bit to a 3.2, but then it came back up during her last year. So she has an increasing, in her grade average, which is really great. So these are some of the comments from her counselor. She's delightful. She has a very positive attitude, and they actually like her going, into their office. She obviously also go to their office a lot, to actually talk to her counselor. But she's very reliable and responsible. And, she's definitely admired by her teachers and friends. And she has an adventurous spirit as well. So she'll probably be able to do some great things at Disney University. So this is our last applicant for today. His name is Virat Kohli. He actually is interested in sports management. His GPA is a little bit lower than the other two. He only has about a 3.17, but he's actually doing the AP curriculum. So the AP curriculum is obviously pretty challenging. His TOEFL is only around 79, and his class rank, is around 45, so it's still top 100. His grade trend is actually definitely increasing. So, he's not doing so well, during his first year, but his second and third year, he actually had done pretty well. So his grade trend is definitely, going up, which is always good. His SAT scores is only around 1,050. So it may be a little bit low for this university, but he did really well in math. So I guess his strong point is more in the math side and the sciences side of things. And his recommendation, is about average. He definitely has balanced, his activities and academics. He's the team captain for the cricket team. He did cricket for 4 years, and he's voted the most athletic. And then, the committee notes, definitely say that he's a natural athlete. And he started his own online business as well, which is pretty impressive, for him. So this is some recommendations, some comments, from the counselor. He may not have the strongest grades, but he definitely, will do well at a university level. He is great. Obviously he's a great athlete, very good cricket player. So he'll definitely contribute to the athletic program at Disney University. He has worked really hard, to fulfill his potential. And he always, make his commitment. He's very dedicated. So those are all very good qualities. And he'll definitely make the most of the opportunities he's offered to grow further in the future. So he definitely could be a good fit too, right, for Disney University, because we are looking for more athletes, right, this year. So now you guys can go to menti.com and the code is on the top, as you guys can see. If you can put in the code 920885. I wanted you guys to go ahead and now be the committee member. You're going to think about who you're going to admit. Do you want to admit Aaliyah? Do you want to admit Virat or Saina? So you guys are going to go ahead and vote right now. If you can go to menti.com and then type in the code and then put in who you wanted to admit. Who do you think is going to be a good candidate? And let's see here. Are you guys able to actually log in? If you are having problems, let me know in the chat. Or if you guys are not able to log in, you can also put it in the chat as well, who you wanted to admit for Disney University. I'm gonna give you guys a couple minutes. Do any of you guys have any questions about the applicant? Do you need me to go back through and about their qualifications? So Aaliyah is a really good student, right? She has pretty high GPA. Can you guys not actually decide who you want to admit? Oh, great. Okay, so someone actually wrote in the chat is, oh, your vote is not going through. I'm sorry about that. I'm not really sure why. It should be. That's okay. If you guys wanted to just type in chat and let me know who you wanted to admit. So someone actually said they wanted to admit Virat, which is great. Somebody wanted to vote for Aaliyah. That's great. Do we have anybody else? So we have a little bit different opinions here, right? Because you guys are thinking now, you're part of the committee. you're actually not going to all agree on who you want to admit, right? The same person. So this is great. That's why we have committees, so we can actually discuss these things. That's great. Wonderful. Okay, so I'm going to actually just go to the next slide. Maybe we'll have a little bit better luck here. If you guys wanted to type the reason why you wanted to admit, oh, great. So someone actually wrote they wanted Virat because you love that his leadership stands out. If you guys wanted to write in here the reasons for your admit decision, that will be great. Or you can write in chat as well, and then we can definitely talk about it. So why was the reason that you admitted the students that you wanted to admit? So someone write that, you know, she's holistic in her profile for Aliyah. That's very good, right? Because, you know, she actually is very well-rounded student. She has good grades. She is very active, you know, in the theater, performance, you know, so there's a lot of different things that, you know, she's doing outside of the classroom, you know, not just inside. So someone that else wrote here that, you know, that inspires confidence and is a good inspiration for other students in classroom, which is great. And that is for Virat, that, you know, he should be admitted because, you know, he's going to be able to help other students, you know, in the classroom because, you know, he has leadership skills. And then, you know, I think a lot of it has to do maybe with, you know, him being team captain, right? Which is great. Does anybody else want to share who they would like to admit? And if you guys do, just go ahead and put it in the chat because I think my interactive slides are actually not working. I'm sorry about that. Okay, so now we're going to move to who do you want to waitlist? And you know, you don't have to waitlist anyone if you don't really want to, but you definitely can waitlist one of the students. So if you guys actually wanted to waitlist, you can definitely do that. Okay, someone said that they wanted to waitlist Virat. Does anybody else want to waitlist anyone? Great, you guys are ahead of me. And you wanted to waitlist Virat because he may not be a good fit for collaboration. He's more like a leader, right? For some of the stuff, you know, because he's captain, so maybe he's not as good with collaboration. Someone said they will waitlist Sina. So maybe her grades are not as high, right, as what we wanted it to be. You know, she also lacked focus, right? Remember during the application when we were reviewing it, she definitely, you know, her grading is not as good. That's really great, yeah. So someone said that her grades is not as good because Aliyah definitely has better grades, right? So that definitely makes sense. Wonderful. These are great. You guys are doing really well. And you guys gave me the reasons already for why you wanted to waitlist some of the students. So this is great. So now let's go to the next slide. Who would you deny? Would you deny any of the applicants, you know, out of the 3 of them? You don't have to, once again. You know, because sometimes, you know, when we're reviewing an application, we may not always have an admit, waitlist, and deny, right? Sometimes maybe we'll admit all the students, or maybe we'll deny all of them. Or maybe we'll waitlist 1, admit 2, so. Okay, someone wrote that they will deny Sina because, you know, you're not confident. Because she does lack focus, right? And her grades are not as good, you know, so that definitely, you know, she may not do as well at Disney University. We're also really trying to increase our profile this year, right? Because we wanted to really bring the GPA up. You know, we really wanted to, you know, to have the students to be able to, you know, help us bring the SAT scores up and things like that. So maybe she will not be as good an applicant, right, for this year's poll. That's great. Anybody else wanted to deny any students? You guys are doing really good. But as you guys can see, we're not all going to agree, right, on the same thing. So some of you wanted to, deny, Sina. Some of you wanted to deny Marat. Some of you wanted to make Aliyah. Some of you wanted to waitlist. So our decisions are not always going to be the same. And there's a comment on here that say that no denial for you. You feel sad to deny anybody. Someone actually wrote that you're going to deny Aliyah. What is the reason that you wanted to deny Aliyah? Is it because you don't think she's going to be a good fit for this new university? Okay, so a lot of you actually choose to deny her profile is not really matching for Sina Noah. So some of you actually really was paying attention, which is great because this new university is looking for higher grades, higher GPA, and also trying to increase the SAT this year. These are really good. You guys are doing great. These are great answers. So now I am going to tell you guys a little bit about Furman University. And after I tell you about Furman University, I am going to actually have you guys guess who do you think, Furman would admit, waitlist, or deny, or we may not waitlist anyone or deny anyone. But I just wanted to tell you guys a little bit about Furman first, and then you're going to use what, Furman is looking for this year, and then guess what is it the decision that we're going to do in regard to these applicants. So Furman is actually located in Greenville, South Carolina. As you guys can see on the map down here, we are actually located on the East Coast. We're only about a 2-hour drive from Atlanta, Georgia. And there is an international airport actually right in Greenville. And it's only about a 30-minute drive from campus. So it makes it very easy and very convenient. We are a smaller, very traditional liberal arts university. We only have about 2,800 students total. Currently have about 4% of our students are international and they come from 32 different countries. And because Furman is a very traditional liberal arts university, we're smaller in size and we're also 100% residential. What that means is that we want all our students to live on campus for all 4 years. So everybody live on campus. If you're coming in as a freshman, you have the opportunity to meet juniors and seniors, which makes it really great because you really start building that Furman network and you're really part of the Furman community. Hopefully by the time you graduate, your, the juniors and seniors that you have met, the other classmates, they will already have graduated, so they will probably have jobs already. And as alum, we have a very big network where we connect our current students with alumni from Furman. So by the time you're looking for a position or a job in your field of study, you definitely have the networking opportunity and you have the connection there already. And as a liberal arts university, we're not just all about art. We are actually just really promote critical thinking. We really want our students to have the freedom to choose what they wanted to do. So when you're studying at Furman, we have over 60 different programs that you can choose from. Some of the popular majors are biology, chemistry, business, computer science, psychology. We also have a great music program and also theater arts, if that's what you wanted to do. And it doesn't really matter what major you wanted to go into when you're studying at Furman, you have the opportunity to do 3 things. We guarantee our students access to be able to do internships. So if you're studying history, you wanted to do an internship, we have an internship office here on campus that will help you find that perfect job, that wanted to do. There is a very big network. We have connection with over 200 companies actually in the US and also outside. So there is different opportunities available. Obviously, we cannot find a job for you because it's still you who has to go do the interview, but we provide all the support for you, for you to be able to achieve that. And the second thing we guarantee you access to be able to do is study abroad. Obviously, because of COVID right now, we're not really doing any study abroad, but students in the past, over 75% of them have done a study abroad trip. So you can do a semester abroad. Some of our students may actually decide to do a 1-year study abroad program. Some of them may just wanted to do the summer, so there are different opportunities available. And majority of our study abroad program, our faculty-led program, is the semester program. And the last thing we guarantee all our students access to be able to do is research. So it doesn't matter what program you go into. You could be in music or theater arts. You could be studying psychology, obviously, or chemistry. You have the opportunity to do research. You'll be able to connect with your faculty member. There is actually a research office where we have funding available that faculty and students work together to apply for grants each year. And we actually currently have over 91% of our students that have done either an internship, research, or study abroad. They have done 2 of those things or all 3 of them. So students are very involved outside of the classrooms. And with Furman, we actually offer a lot of scholarships as well. We do have scholarships available. They range from $10,000 to around $51,000 a year. So there's a lot of opportunity there. And as I mentioned before, we're actually SAT, ACT optional. So you do not have to submit your SAT or ACT. And Furman's placement rate is very, very high. We have, within 6 months of graduation, 96% of our students, they either find a job in their field of study or they actually continue on to graduate school. And to just tell you guys a little bit about Greenville, the area, Greenville is actually the 4th fastest growing city in the US right now. So it's actually really a happening city. The city is beautiful, as you can see here on the bottom, right-hand corner. That's how downtown looks like. And downtown Greenville is only a 15 minutes drive from campus. So it's very convenient. It's very easy to get to. And with the downtown, being so close to us, a lot of our students are able to do internships. Sometimes, even during the regular semester, they're able to actually work with a company or maybe volunteer with a company. So then they're able to actually get some work experience while they're studying in Greenville. And also, while they're studying at Furman. And in Greenville, we also have BMW. The factory is actually here. The biggest factory in the US is located in Greenville, and Michelin's corporate office is actually in Greenville as well. And we have over 40 Fortune 500 companies actually in the area. So we are actually a smaller city, but it's still, there's a lot happening here. Excuse me, I'm sorry. And also because we're further south, the weather stays a little bit warmer. You do get some snow, but pretty much it stays pretty warm each year here. We had maybe 1 snowstorm last year. It snowed one day, and then by the next day, all the snow melted already. And Furman's campus is gorgeous. It's beautiful. We have consistently been ranked top 10 most beautiful campus in the US. As you can see on the top right corner, campus is about 3.5 square kilometers. We have a lake right on our campus and a golf course as well. So Furman this year, we are really looking to increase our diversity. We're really looking to increase our student profile as well. Our average GPA right now is around a 3.5, but we would like to continue to increase that. Our average SAT is around 1350 this year at Furman. And Furman actually also really take demonstrating interests, as I was telling you guys before, as part of the application review process. So when we review a student's application, we really take that into consideration. And obviously, we would like our students, to be participating in things other than just studying. We wanted to see them doing things outside of the classroom as well. So now I kind of wanted you guys to tell me, who do you think we're going to admit? Who do you think we're going to, deny? And who do you think we may waitlist? At Furman. If you are working for Furman, who do you think will admit? And you guys can type that in the chat, because obviously my vote is not working. So if you guys wanted to type in chat, who do you think, based on what I just told you in regard to our profile, Furman will admit? if Furman will waitlist any students or if Furman will deny any of them. Okay, someone said that I'll admit Virat and Aliyah, and then I will deny Saina. We have anyone else? Or you couldn't really make up your mind? Or Furman may be denying all of them? And I would actually admit Aliyah, right? Because Aliyah has really good grades. Virat's grades are not as good, but maybe we're looking for more athletes, right? Because Furman is actually Division I for athletics. Okay, someone say, a lot of you are saying Aliyah, that I'll admit Aliyah. And you also saying that I will admit Saina as well. Because Saina has decent grades. You know, she's doing pretty well. Okay, great. So I'm gonna actually let you guys know what we're gonna do at Furman. So at Furman, I would definitely admit Aliyah because she meets our strong academic profile. We don't really look at SAT, but if you do submit SAT scores to Furman, we will consider it. And her SAT scores are really good. She's also very talented outside the classroom. She is very talented in theater arts. So that's definitely a great plus for her because we do want students here that are doing things outside of the classroom. And I would actually waitlist Saina because her academic grades is not as high, it's more average. And one of her comments is that she lacked focus, right? And Furman is very academically rigorous. So it would be, sometimes it'd be hard for her if she doesn't really have to focus there, but she has been doing really well. If you guys remember her grade chart is actually, she has improvements, it's continuously going up. So we would possibly admit her, you know, if her grade from her 12th semester is decent and is high and it stays high, and if she shows us a lot of interest that she's really interested in Furman. Unfortunately, we have to deny Virat because he doesn't really meet our academic requirements, even though he's a great athlete. But that changed, right? Maybe one year we're looking for more athlete and he's really talented. We don't have a cricket team on campus, but you know, if we do, maybe we're looking for you know, a team captain, and then he may be considered. You know, so these decisions, even within an institution, may change each year with the same qualification, because we actually have different enrollment goals and we look at different things every year. So this has been great. You guys have been wonderful. Thank you for participating and bearing with me with my technical difficulties. But I'm going to do the questions now. And here's also my contact information. Please feel free to contact me, email me. Our website is on here. Join us in any of the social media. We're doing a lot of posting through Instagram, through our students. We're doing Instagram stories. So we would love for you guys to join us, and I would love to hear from you as well. And I'm going to go to questions now. So the first question that you guys have on here is for essays. What would be the essay topic, and how long would you need it to be? So once again, that varies, right? At Furman, we actually accept the common application and also the coalition application. So you can just follow the essay on either the common app or the coalition application and review that. My suggestion is when you're writing an essay, you should really choose the topic that resonate with you. Sometimes I tell students, you know, go ahead and start writing your essay and then see where it fit best within the prompts. The common application has, I think, 8, maybe 7 or 8 different prompts. I couldn't remember exactly the number, but you know, you should start writing your essay and see which prompts actually fit best. Don't try to pick the topic first before you're writing it. Write something that you know you're really passionate about, something that you really wanted to share with us. And obviously, you know, a good essay is not 2 sentences. Write a little bit more, but also don't write. We don't need a 20-page essay. Actually, I don't think common application let you do that anyway. But you know, do actually just write a good, you know, length. You know, usually like a page or a page and a half. You know, single space, that's actually like a pretty good length for an essay. Just make sure you get your point across. That's really what we're looking for. You know, if you're talking about something you know, that you're really passionate about, talk about that. Don't kind of like talk about everything, you know, because we don't really need to know about everything, you know, that you have gone through. Kind of stick to one topic and then tell us about that. The next question, our admissions and application policies for 2021. So I talked a little bit about that. I know as you guys were helping me to make the decision, but just to let you guys know again, the average SAT at Furman is around 1350. Even though we're SAT, ACT optional, you do not have to submit that. You can submit either the TOEFL or the Duolingo exam. We also accept IELTS. Those are the scores that we look for English proficiency. And you know, we actually have different application deadlines, so definitely go to our website and check that out. But our average GPA we're looking for this year is around a 3.5. So that's about like a B plus, actually more like a B plus average. But obviously, you know, our GPA scores range, right? So we do have students coming in a little bit higher, and then we also have students coming in a little bit lower. So, you know, just, you know, make sure you're sending in all your documents and information to us as well. As I mentioned before, we do a holistic review. And if you're really interested in Furman, make sure that you reach out to me, because as I said before, right, we actually do take demonstrating interest into consideration. So if all I get is your application, you'll probably get waitlisted. I have waitlisted a student 1 year who has a 1400 SAT and a 4.0 GPA, because I've never heard from her, you know, outside of just her application. She has not really shown any other interest, and we really look at that. So you definitely need to make sure you reach out, you know, if you're interested in Furman. The next question is, how does Furman University help with internships and research? So we actually do have an internship office and also a research office. So both of those offices have staff who will become kind of your mentor, and they'll help you figure out, you know, what would be a good internship opportunity. We also have a network, you know, of alums, as I mentioned before. We have a website with the internship office where they list all the job opportunities that are available. And then we also partner with over 200 different companies, you know, in the US and also overseas, to offer our students opportunities for different internships. And the internship office definitely help you with your resume, your interviewing skill. They also help you, you know, maybe try to narrow down what is it that may interest you. So there's a lot of different support that they provide. And the same with research. A lot of the times with research, it's a little bit different because you do need to start with a faculty member. But because Furman is so small, the student-faculty ratio is really, really small. You know, I think it's student-faculty ratio is around 14:1. So you'll be able to find a faculty member, you know, who may have the same interest as you. You really start making those connections right from your freshman year, and then your faculty member will involve you with a different research opportunity. And there is a research office as well that is on campus, and they do have the grant and funding available that provide for all our students. So the next question, how can students pursue a major in engineering and business minor? So unfortunately, Furman doesn't really offer an engineering program. We have what we call pre-engineering. So you'll be taking classes at Furman for 3 years, and then you'll continue to our partner university. So currently we partner with Clemson University and also Georgia Institute of Technology for their engineering program. So you do 3 years with us, and then you do 2 years with them. And then while you're doing the pre-engineering program at Furman, you can definitely do a double major with business. We don't really have it as a minor, but we do have other minors that may be available, you know, that could be of your interest. But you can definitely do a double major. A lot of our students that come to study at Furman, they have more than one major that they're interested in. The tuition fee and full cost of attendance, yes. So tuition right now is at $51,000 a year. And living expenses, everything add up together, makes that about $66,000 a year. But as I mentioned before, we do have a lot of scholarships available. So scholarship range from $10,000 and it goes all the way to $50,000 a year. And you'll definitely be able to find more information on that on our website as well. Because applying for scholarships require a separate application process and what are the deadlines for admissions and scholarship. So you can definitely find the deadlines for admission on our website. We actually have early decision, early action, and also regular decision. All the dates are listed on the website. And when you're applying to Furman, you will automatically be reviewed for academic scholarships. Now, if you say you're musically talented, we do have a music scholarship available. You do have to do audition for that. And then we do have a You Are Welcome Here scholarship as well. We give out 2 of those scholarships each year. And the amount of that scholarship, the minimum amount you'll get is half off of tuition. So that is a really great scholarship, but for that particular scholarship, you do need to submit a separate, it's not an application, but more an essay. And the topic changes a little bit this year, each year, and I don't know what it is for this year yet, but you'll be able to find the information actually on our website. But the topic for that usually is related to leadership and internationalization. It could be something that you have done outside of the classroom or at your high school. Usually that's kind of what they look for. But for that particular scholarship, you do need to submit an application. And once again, the information is on our website, or if you want to send me an email, I'll be glad to send you to the link for the page as well. And then for those of you who may be athletically talented, we are Division I for athletics. So we do have some athletic scholarships available, but once again, those are very, very competitive. If you're already a senior this year at your high school, it's your last year, you haven't been recruited by a coach yet, you probably won't, but we do have those scholarships available as well. If you would like to stay off campus, we require all our students to live on campus. So unfortunately, you cannot stay off campus. However, because of everything that is happening right now, because of COVID, we do have some of our students that are actually living at off-campus housing, but this is a temporary requirement or temporary policy right now that we're allowing students to live off campus because of COVID, but normally you have to live on campus for all 4 years. Be available on international, will information be available on your international students and also the discussion points on campus safety? Yes, so Furman is actually located in a suburban setting, so campus and everything is together. We're not really inside the city. We're not in the downtown area, so everything is gated. And when you come into Furman, you actually have to come in the front gate. And especially right now, because campus normally in year past, not when we don't have the pandemic, campus is open to the public, but currently because of everything that is happening, the campus is actually closed to the public. You have to come through the front gate. And campus safety, they do a really good job. There's also information on our website that post all the statistic in regard to campus safety. So you'll be able to find the information on there. But we're actually a gated community right now because of everything that is happening. What is the coalition application? That is a very good question. It's actually another application that is very similar to the common application. It just provides our students another platform that you can use in order for you to submit your application. And there's just some functionalities a little bit different on the coalition application compared to the common application. So, but it's very similar. If you're familiar with the common application, it's just another platform that you can use to submit your application to us, to Furman. Some of the functionality is a little bit different in regard to what you can submit and what you have to do. You don't really necessarily have to have a high school counselor for the coalition application versus the common application. There's just some minor difference, but it's pretty much the same. And could you please share the documents to successfully complete our application at Furman? Yes, the information is actually listed on our website. It gives you all the instruction, very detailed instruction on the application page. I can actually probably type it in the chat box, so you guys will be able to find the information. So I'll go ahead and do that and get that for you. So you'll know what is it that we are looking for. So you guys can just click on the link and then you'll be able to find exactly what we look for. when you are applying to Furman. And the next question is, would you be able to share about campus life and activities? There's so much that you can do at Furman, right? Because I keep talking about it. So we currently have over 170 different organizations on campus with the different organizations you can participate in. There's theaters, there's theater arts, you can be part of the drama club, you can volunteer. A lot of our students actually love working with Halal Service Corp, so they do volunteering. You can also do outdoor activities. There is a there's a club, I think, for outdoor adventure, so you can actually join that. Because we're situated very close to a mountain, so our students really enjoy hiking. So there's a lot of those opportunities available, so you can definitely do that. There is also different clubs. If you're interested in maybe joining the International Student Club, if you wanted to do something maybe with the LGBT community, there is clubs for that as well. There is a a cappella, group, singing group, if you like to sing. So there's a lot of different opportunities available. And also we have a lot of athletic teams on campus as well. So they do have games a lot of times on the weekends and in the evening. So if you're interested in watching a soccer game, or if you wanted to go watch a basketball game, we definitely do have those available. Obviously not this year because we're trying to eliminate crowds, but in years past, and hopefully once the pandemic is over, we do have those things available. And I just posted the link for the application information on the chat group as well. So if you guys click on that, you'll be able to get the information about applying to Furman. So after completing 4 years undergraduate degree at Furman, can we transfer for master's program? Yes, you actually can transfer to any university. You can apply to any university for the master's program. For the pre-engineering program I was talking about, that's a little bit different because we partner with Clemson and Georgia Tech for the engineering program. But when you are interested in a master's degree program, you can definitely apply. Our students have applied to master degree program at Johns Hopkins, Georgetown. One of my students is actually at Harvard this year. So you can apply to a lot of different programs for master's degree, just really depending on your interests. So the classes, because of COVID-19, is actually online this year and also in person. So for right now, we're doing somewhat of a hybrid. But once again, depending on how comfortable you feel, we have some students that don't really want to be on campus, so they're only taking classes online right now. I don't really know what we're doing for fall 2021 yet, but hopefully we'll reopen. I'm hoping vaccine will be out, but we technically do have classes in person right now as well. So we'll probably follow the same for fall 2021. The next question, what is the minimum points required to gain admission and scholarship? So I talked a little bit about our average requirements. The average grades that we look for is around a B+, around a 3.5 GPA. So if you have those grades, there is probably usually a good opportunity for you to qualify for scholarships. But as I mentioned before, we look at everything. We don't just look at your grades. There's not really like a minimum grade that you can get for you to get scholarship. We also look at your activities outside of the classroom, what things you have done. If you have any leadership opportunities, we do have a leadership scholarship, which is the You're Welcome Here scholarship. So the different things you can do in order for you to get scholarships. Will admissions next year be affected as coronavirus health crisis? Admissions is not going to get affected. Things are really obviously going to be different, right? We do have a lot of students who have deferred till next semester to the spring. So they're still wanting to come in the spring. But, we're still going to use the same requirements that we're looking for admission. That's not going to change. It's not like we're going to stop admitting students just because of, COVID-19. So if, you are not sure if you wanted to apply this year, you definitely can wait, or, if you have already taken a gap year, you're welcome to apply to Furman. We're still looking for those qualified students, the candidate. It's not like we're gonna limit the amount. Obviously we're just really looking for a class, that's gonna be a good fit for Furman. So I think even with the students deferring, we have maybe more students coming next year. If you meet the qualifications that we're looking for, you'll still be admitted for this year. So admissions, the application is open right now. And the deadline, I sent you guys the link. The deadline is actually listed on the link in the chat. If you click on the link that I sent in the chat, it'll give you all the deadline dates. We have 4 different deadlines, so it's a lot. So just look on the website, it'll give you all the different dates. So what health precautions have been taken care on campus? So we have been open back up for a week now. We have only had 1 positive case, since we have opened back up. All the students are required to wear masks. We are doing everything that we possibly can. We're following all the CDC guidelines. We are separating students out. They have to be 6 feet apart in classrooms. The classroom sizes has gotten a lot smaller. Some of the classroom only has 2 to 3 students. So everyone, is being careful. We have an app where students can report, and also staff and faculty can report other students or faculty and staff if they're really not following the guidelines. We clean everything each night within the classroom. We provide cleaning supplies for faculty and students to clean each, after each class, the desk area, the space. So everything is being cleaned in between classes. And so far, keep our fingers crossed. It has been pretty good. We only have 1, positive, case of students that have been tested since we have reopened, and that was about a week and a half ago. And does the admission team hold application seminars? Yes, we have tons of them. Please do check out our website. I am going to be going through actually a lot of different webinars. So there's going to be different things. Some of them we talk about how to fill a common application. Some of them is going to be about, what is it that you should look for when you're looking for a university in the US. Some of them talk about demonstrating interest. So definitely keep an eye out on our website. You'll be able to find the different webinars that I'm offering throughout the fall semester. And if you do have specific questions in regard to your application, please feel free to email me. I would love to schedule a Zoom meeting with you, or we can, do a call, whatever it may be, or email. I'll be glad to answer any questions you may have in regard to your application. So I think that wraps it up for today. Thank you so much. You guys asked some amazing questions.
Thank you so much, Candice. I think this was one of the most fun session. Alia Bhatt, Saina Mehwal, and Virat Kohli. We love all of them here in India. So thank you so much. I think that was so cool. I wish I could participate and throw my views in as well. It's always good to be part of quizzes and fun polls and presentations. So thank you so much for this, Candice. Really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Your kind time and support, especially out of a busy schedule, especially that now that campus has started again. And I know we've been coordinating this for a while, so thank you. It's such an honor and pleasure to have you as part of the program today. So thank you once again. And to counselors, thank you so much for coordinating this and for having your students participate in the program. We know it's late in the evening. It's approaching near 8:30 p.m., 9 p.m. here in India. So thank you so much. We know it's been a long day. Truly appreciate your kind time and support in helping us organize this session. As I've mentioned earlier, we'll be sending a thank you email to all of you guys. And of course, we'll be including the session recorded link as well. So counselors, to those students who were not able to attend this session due to their schedule, please feel free to share this highly informative and insightful and very engaging, of course, presentation, workshop, presentation session with your students and parents so that they can learn more about Furman University and, of course, keep these conversations continuing and go way forward with Candice well after this presentation, this workshop is over. And that's what we all would love. But having said that, thank you so much, Candice, once again for your kind time. Really appreciate it. We wish you a great day out there in the US, and to students and parents and counselors, we wish you a pleasant evening. Please take care and stay safe to all. Thank you once again.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye. Have a nice day. Have a nice evening, everyone. Bye-bye.